What's up everyone, welcome back to a quick episode of Brian Fixes Shit, where I'm going to be restoring this little old ratcheting tap handle that I got recently. So I recently got this in a pile of old tools from someone, and I'm guessing at least 50 years old, and it's actually working pretty well. So you can see here we got where your tap goes, this tightens pretty nicely, and we got the ratcheting mechanism. So this thing actually ratchets, and then you flip this around, and it'll ratchet the other way, and you go in the middle, and it locks up. But it is covered in rust, so while it does still work, I want to clean it up and make it look nice and clean. So you can see if you push this thing out, you can see the color it used to be right there. I'm going to go ahead and take this apart. First step, I'm going to be putting it in an ultrasonic cleaner with some degreaser, and I'm going to be testing out a new method of rust removal that I learned about today and see if that works. Take off the collet here. I should be able to just remove this screw here. Hopefully not lose it. Take this thing apart. You can see the ratcheting mechanism here. So you got a little wedge that spins and ratchets on these. And then there's a little spring. I don't know if you can see. I don't know why it's not focusing. It'll focus. You can see there's a little spring in there. This little ball bearing sits on. And that is also what holds in this divot here. Managed to finally get this thing out. Now I could get this out, there's a little spring in there I can tell. I'd have to unscrew this little nub. I tried, this thing doesn't seem to want to come off. I'll try again after it's gone in the degreaser. I think we've got it mostly apart here. So I'm gonna put all of these in the degreaser. This part could come apart a little more, but I'm gonna choose to leave it together for now. Got a little plastic bag. I'm just gonna throw all the parts in here. Make sure to get even the little ones. I just got some degreaser here I'll dump in. Alright, now I've got my parts in degreaser. Just gonna drop them in the ultrasonic here and let this run for, I don't know, 5 minutes, and I'll come back. Don't know if you can hear me over the ultrasonic, but it's already looking like it's blasting some grime off there, if you can see that. Alright, after 5 minutes. Not a huge difference, but a small difference there. This one definitely had a big difference on the jaws. Still sounds a little crunchy. Did have some success on this one. This one also had some improvement. So now it is time to try out the new method I just learned to get the last of this rust off. The ultrasonic and the degreaser did actually work better than I expected. However, there's still rust on here. So I'm going to try this new method that I just learned to remove the rest of the rust and get this really nice and clean and shiny. And that method is molasses. I know this is not the cheapest way to get molasses, but it's what I was able to do on short notice. Alright, so I got a thing of water here. I'm going to do about 1 part molasses, 10 parts water. Alright, now I've got my molasses solution here. I'm just going to take my parts and let them soak in here for probably a few days. Probably wait for this to soak. If you want a random historical fact, look up the Great Molasses Flood. It was a really random thing that happened. 1 week later. Parts have now been sitting in this molasses water for about almost a week, and they're looking pretty good. There's still a little bit left, but I think I might be able to get the rest off with old steel wool, but that's actually looking really good. As you can see, it's not perfect, but come on, focus. There we go. It's not perfect, but it does look way better than it used to. I'm going to hit it with some WD-40 and some steel wool. Probably could have let these sit a little longer to get a little bit better result, but I'm being a little impatient, so this is good enough for this purpose. So next thing I'm going to do is I want to keep these from rusting again, since they were in water, even though there was other stuff in it. I'm going to hit it with some WD-40, because if you didn't know, this stands for water displacement on the 40th attempt. So I hit it with a little of this. It should get rid of any water left over. Get a nice little clean. Not only does this stuff stop rust, get rid of squeaks, everything, it actually works really well as cologne. Just get a little spray right there behind the ears. Stuff's magic. For a final cleanup, I'm just gonna go over it with a little bit of steel wool. I'm not gonna get a perfect finish on this, but that's okay. I mean, it is a tool after all. I actually have a little bit of a spot there where it was sticking out of the molasses water for a bit. I'd say that looks pretty good for being, what, 50 something years old at least. That one also looks pretty good. Now that I got it all cleaned up, just gotta put it back together. See if I can remember how this thing goes together. It's pretty basic actually. I'm gonna throw it back on there. Oh, that slides in so much nicer than before. Got this little spring, drop that in there. Little ball bearing sits on top of that. The ball bearing pushes up into this little groove here to keep the handle centered. And then it slides back on here. Lock that down, push it in. Got our little screw. Collet is functioning. Locked in place. Ratchets in one direction. Flip the handle. Ratchets in the other direction. That is one fully restored tap handle. I hope you enjoyed this quick little restoration video. Let me know if you want to see more tool restorations. They're kind of fun to do. So, got a lot of cool projects coming up this summer, so make sure you're subscribed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.